and say, so my name is Robin McGehee. I cannot tell you enough how grateful I am that you're here. This came about because of a push that we've done with 4 different administrations, starting with Alan Autry, to have an LGBT liaison within city government. Once it started happening and it looked like it might be a possibility with Jerry Dyer, our current mayor, there was an effort to try to get budgeting allocated out of our June City of Fresno budget for it to be added into the budget. And when that happened, a lot of people in the community felt like it was rushed and we were pushing too fast, too quick without having discussions about it. But it came out of the attacks that happened at Our Savior. And so the reason that it was asked for at that event for Our Saviors by Dr. Kat Faubert, and then also being lobbied by me in other meetings that I was having in City Fresno, that we needed to have some type of representation within city government. After the liaison was actually funded, and money was given for EOC, as well as $100,000 for different community organizations, I felt like we needed to have a community meetup where we kind of take a accounting and a community inventory to hear what are the things that really matter and what is concerning to the LGBTQ community. So today is all about that. It's not going to be people giving speeches. It's not going to be anything about people speaking their agendas or spreading the word on what their events are. I am going to put the questions that need to be pondered in the chat room. And I'm also going to be putting in the chat room the first responses that were given on that form that was put out. So please be thinking about this as it starts. And then once it gets started, I won't be saying anything. I'll become a participant, and Dr. Jackie Ryle is going to lead the discussion. So really quickly, let me put this in the chat. Give me just 1 second. Anyone have any questions before I get started? Nope. Okay.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate it. I'm a little crazy right now. I apologize if I seem like I'm out of my mind. There is a lot of people. There's over, I'd say definitely over 50, if not more, in that space right now, which is a fantastic thing. So I'm very grateful. So this is, these are the things that got brought up. Hold on 1 second. And you'll have some time to kind of look at this while we're getting our intros. So I'm going to post that. Oh, it says too long. Please try sending multiple shorter messages. What the hell? So let's see if I do it this way. Still too long. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll send that out later in email after today, but I will send out right now the questions that Jackie is going to be posing to the groups. And this is the first 2. And then this is the last one. Let's see. Hold on. And then this is the last one. And then the last one is an open comments. So those 3 questions are going to be posed to everyone tonight. They're going to work in groups to come up with answers. And really the hope for my involvement with your participation is that you spend some time right now while we have you online and write what your answers would be. And then those will be harvested with all the other answers that come through. And so there's going to be 4 different tables that they'll come up with shared answers. And then there's an open comments table. So it's just like you can say whatever you want in reference to the LGBTQ community. And then post that. Well, some things, hopefully, respectfully. And that will be posted and then shared with the group as a whole. Okay. Any questions?
You want us to post our answers to these questions in the chat, or you want us to email them to you?
You have a choice of either. If you do not want to say it publicly, you can email me here at that email address. if you are willing to post it in this chat, it would be better, because then other people, it might jar their thinking, and the brainstorming process might give them ideas as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
Got it.
perfect. Any more questions before I put you live in there?
I have one real quick.
Go for it.
So is this the beginning of an LGBTQ plus serving collaborative?
I am hopeful of that, and it's going to
Okay.
be up to all of the, a lot of people in here are saying, can we do this on a monthly basis? So
Yes.
what comes of this, if that's something that you'd like to see, then write that in the chat. My hope is that, yes, that's what it would end up being. And, but my hope is also that we start to have a shared list of who does what their contact information is, sharing of events, and then action items when we start to have attacks coming towards our community, like a strike force that can go out and be present immediately when Bredefeld and others start to attack us. And then from there, hopefully an even more orchestrated community that's working together to collaborate on events and share details, not competing, which I know that's probably an ideal that we'll never get to, but at least we're trying to collaboratively network and work together. That's the goal. Okay, everybody with me? Okay, wish me luck. I love you guys. Thank you for being here online. And if you don't mind muting your mic, unless you have something to say, and you can raise your hand, and the person that's going to be managing the Zoom will help with that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so if everybody could just say hello to all of the Zoomers that are online. This is being recorded and will be stored if people are wanting to see it after today. But they know that they're now going into their own meeting groups and taking the questions that Dr. Ryle is going to pose in just a little bit. So I'm putting you with the Zoom coordinator now. Thank you for coming. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, now. So do you want to move to that side? So,
Me.
I'll take this. I'll move to
So the camera is not recording their water bottle.
No. Okay. No.
Oh, it's still recording me.
Oh, it needs to.
I don't want
Oh, I know Kyra. Oh, there's Binks.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. Or Daryl, Alex.
I do not want
Pro.
to take a lot of people's time.
Yeah.
So number one, we are not going to be able to have time to go around and let everybody say their names. We are only trying to be here from 6 to 8. I will offer time at the very end if you want to announce events or announce ideas.
Child, I gave birth to a child.
Sorry.
I gave
I gotta be. She labored herself out of my phone, sorry. Sorry about that. So at the very end, I would love it for anyone who has things that you want to announce. And if you're interested as a concerned community member and you may not know where or how to hear what might be happening that's coming up, if you want to stay for that, great, because there's a lot of really great things that are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks and in the next couple of months. The second thing is that I want to give just a brief how we got to this point. So as everyone knows, our Savior's, if you do not know, Our Savior Lutheran Church was attacked in the spring. It was not only attacked, but it was destroyed in reference to all the stained glass was hit out and unrepairable to get back to the space that it was, but repairable enough to actually, fix it. So there was a big fundraising effort. Tracy was a part of that, and Pastor Bill at Our Savior Lutheran Church. And at the candlelight vigil, I think it was a candlelight vigil or the vigil, Dr. Faubert, I made an announcement that she believed that the city of Fresno needed an LGBTQ liaison that would be some type of conduit between our community and city government. Now, I will tell you that we have royalty in this space, and I believe that she would admit that for the last 4 administrations, beginning with Alan Autry, after what our family suffered because of Prop 8, I have personally lobbied within city government for an LGBTQ liaison. Luckily, Kathy Swearingen, our Willoughby mayor, former mayor, was very welcoming to having a queer person sit on a community council. I was very honored to be in that position. But I truly believe to have really systemic change and to have power as a community is you have to have someone within City Hall that's actually doing the work and has the ear of city government. You also have to be able and willing to hold organizations and community members accountable, not only the people that are representing us in government, but the organizations that are branded to represent us and have our backs. And so that liaison is not there to represent one entity, it's there to represent the community. And so I totally believed what Dr. Faubert had suggested. Pastor Simon from Woven Community reached out and asked me if I knew Dr. Faubert. I said yes. I connected them at a lunch. They said, hey, we want to make this call. We posted the call together through email, and that email happened with an email list that I have been generating since Meet in the Middle. So I did GSA Network first. That was my first queer serving, and that had started in 1999 when I started teaching at College of the Sequoias in Visalia. And after that, that is when our family was attacked and I was removed from the PTA at St. Helens Elementary when I spoke out against Prop 8. Now, because of that, we organized as a community Meet in the Middle, which got 7,000 people at the steps of City Hall. And thank you, all of us. There are people that were a part of that, that helped organize that. And then after that Meet in the Middle event, come on in, Dr. Ryle. After the Meet in the Middle event, I think Dr. Ryle's shocked at how many people were interested in this. We have a chair for you right here. Right here. So after Meet in the Middle, we have done many different things as a community. We've gotten more network. Our Pride Parade has 16,000 people marching through Fresno. We are an unstoppable. But right now, we still have politicians that are speaking out against us and emboldening us to do it. And we need a strike force that is responsive. And that was the hope that after we got funding for liaison, after we got funding for community organizations that are here, EOC that has the LGBT Center here in Fresno, all of those things are doing great work, but we have to be networked together to be successful. And so the only hope from this is this is the beginning and the start. And next month we'll do the same call, and whoever wants to show up, whoever wants to be a part of what comes from this, we are more than welcome. Anybody that wants to be a part of it. But this is not my thing. This is going to be Dr. Lyle's thing, because I'm going to be a part of your group, helping to come up with the ideas that all of you are generating together. So the email went out to 1,000 people. I'm sorry. I told her that we would have 50 people. We have over 20 people that are online, and I know that we have over 50 in this room because we ran out of sign-up sheets. And I say that because this email list represents all the people that over the course of decades of organizing are the most engaged in wanting to come back and unite together. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for being here. I hope that today you feel like this was a good use of your time, and I hope to not keep you past 8 o'clock. Thank you very much for being that first person that let us in. Oh, we're gonna be here till 10. Yeah.
So, we talked about topics. And what did we do with topics, Robin?
I have them. I have them.
Okay.
I can do, I will help you with that. So why don't you talk about who you are and I will help facilitate with that. Yes.
Who am I? Let me start with an apology. I'm Jackie Ryle, and I recognize so many. I'm at least, if there are over 50 here, there are at least 40 of you that okay.
Oh, sorry. I'll make this.
Oh my God. Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, no.
Do you want to use this to?
No.
Okay,
Can
perfect.
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh my. First there's so this little animal is absolute. Those of you who is the light of my life. And he started vomiting last Tuesday, and I've had him in and out of the vet and at the ER. And I just was this afternoon at the last vet. And No, and so I just had my whole time frame is really on. So having said that, he did eat a little chicken, so far it's staying down. And we're here, and this is good stuff and it's important stuff. We talked about, oh, okay, I've been here for absolutely ever. I might. Background, I was a bureaucrat for 32 years. Only I resisted being a bureaucrat. I was in the bureaucracy, so I did watch the sausage being made and cut up and devoured. And many people in this room can attest to that because they were there. It's that kind of night. It is. It is. I'll have a little of that.
That's why I brought it.
Is it just water?
It's just water,
And I don't
just
drink
for
it,
you.
but might be a good night.
If you need vodka.
Anyway, so in the time of doing that, as a front row, I call it participant observer with the city. I worked directly for the elected officials, and in those days, it was a council manager from the government, so the council was one unit of council mayor. And which is quite different than what it is now. And so I really had an opportunity to see, and my work was that I needed to work, I needed to be neutral all the time. I was there to serve those folks and they were involved in politics. My job was not to be, because my job was to observe what was going on, capture it accurately, keep an accurate record that was accessible and easy to, not only easy to access. You understand very well. It's not only easy to access, but clear and accurate. And so that's what really launched me into doing this. And I really, really like doing this. So for this evening, our thought was, and it's a different configuration, but we can do it. And that is, there are, how many topics do we have?
Three.
Three, we have three.
Well, and an open comment, so you have four.
And, yeah, we
Yeah.
do. And an open comment place, we'll do that someplace.
And Dr. Rao, what you should know is that every table has a question, so they could split up and go around the room to these places that the questions are at the top already.
They're already there.
White paper where they can write down their answers, and these are your three.
And now there's paper on the tables.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. How come there's no paper on these tables?
Well, we didn't realize we'd have this many people,
Oh.
but we have paper. We'll take care of it.
Okay, let's just keep, okay, that's very good. So the idea is that, did you mention the format at all?
No.
It's called a World Cafe. How many of you have participated in a World Cafe? A few folks around the room. The whole idea of the World Cafe is to promote conversation. So that this is, and I saw the mail out, is it's a town hall. As a town hall typically is, everybody comes up to the podium and talks. And we hear that limits us a lot, because there's only time for whoever can get up and talk, and then we have to cut people off. And so the idea was, for this World Cafe, is that there are some specific topics, and there are three plus an open comment table. For those of you who are at a given table, and I'll even right now you're sort of set up all facing here, but you don't need to be, because you're going to be talking to each other, not listening to me at all, except for right now, and then we'll summarize at the end. And that is that you're sitting around these tables with a topic, talking together about that topic, and writing your ideas on this paper, legibly. And I do have pens. I have them. You do that, perfect. You need pens for days. Okay, perfect. Pens. No red, no pink, no yellow, no orange. Okay. Blue, green, black, purple. Because we can't see those other things. And so, and one, when one is in such a situation, one wants to take over to be in control. So the idea is that you're at a table, you'll talk, you'll exchange your ideas, you'll write them down. And the nice thing about this is everything goes. You got a question, write it on there. You got an idea, write it on there. Then after about 15 minutes, and with only 3 questions, we're only looking at about 45 minutes for the process itself. So you'll spend about 15 minutes at each table, talking together, You probably are sitting with someone that you know, you work with, you're married to, or, you know. But when we move, after the first table, I'm gonna ask you to please go to a different topic. That's the key thing, a different topic with different people. Don't all go together to the next table. And I've already memorized where everybody's sitting, so I'll know.
So let us get your pins to you first.
Just,
And
why
why
don't
don't-
give everybody a pen?
Everyone's
Oh, oh, I like that idea.
And you want to
Everybody
read the
gets a pen.
questions out loud, just so people can be pondering.
Well, oh, yeah, but there should be a question at one place at every table.
Not, there is not, because, unless we put these there.
Right, we'll
Yeah,
need to,
there we
we'll
go,
need to.
perfect, there we go.
And so every table should have one question. I noticed that there's 3 over there. Every table should have one question only. That all says open comment up there, or just,
Yeah.
because let me say this, the open comments aren't confined to these.
Yeah.
You can comment about them.
So we can make sure that
Because then that information will get back. You only need one of these per table, one topic
per table,
per table.
one top per table, there you go.
Making sure that they're sort of evenly distributed, so that, here's the idea. Everybody in the room will have an opportunity to sit at a table with others on all 3 of the questions. Different people, and you're gonna write on paper. Yeah, with these nice marking pens, everybody gets one. I like that idea. And, oh, let me say this, yes.
Oh, no, just set this up.
Oh, okay, I got it. So here's the thing about the pens. This is not their first rodeo. Some of them are gonna need to be retired. Just let us know and we'll bring you replacements, okay? So what I just said, did that make sense? Yeah. Okay, now, here's the deal. Again, it's an opportunity to talk with a lot of different people about subjects that you all care about, okay? So you'll get your ideas written on these papers. And then after the 3rd round, let me make sure I got your attention. I know there's a lot going on. After the 3rd round, after you've had a chance to be at 3 different tables, one with each of the topics, then whoever's at that last table, I'm going to give you a flip chart page and ask you if you would please summarize in a list what's on that table. And so I really am going to encourage you, once we get the, I shut up, is for you to like simply be around the tables. Yeah. Okay. So you'll be able to see each other and talk to each other. Okay.
So Dr. Rock can ask a question for the people that are along the walls that don't have the ability to have paper in front of them. They all have a question in their area.
Let's deal up against the wall.
Okay, perfect. So
You
give
guys
them
can
the
write up at the wall, more paper on the wall. There's always a way to do it. Don't mark on the wall. Oh,
Keep the ink on the wall.
oh, no, excuse me. They can bring their chair to these tables.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so join together. Okay, so join the- Chair. Let's do that now. We're going to start. Bring your chair. And I'm going to hear the whole way. Here to go in the hall.
You're not allowed.
I'm not, I set up an easel. Doctor. I'm helping with flip chart. Okay.
Do you need a marker, Pat?
Oh, yeah, okay.
One better. By accident.
Hopefully now here it isn't.
There is a question.
Okay. All right. Grab chair. Yeah, you got a question there. Grab chair. Yeah, we're working on it, Chad. Come on over. Okay, wait, no, there is a. We're in over the table.
We're doing all questions on the Zoom together, right? No, we're gonna discuss all three questions as one. group,
Exactly,
right?
yes. So
Okay.
if you want a quiet place to talk with them,
I can, yeah,
and
I
you
can
can
go
take it.
to-
Okay, yeah.
Will you let me know when you move around so I can say, like, okay, we have to move to
Yes,
question two?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody online. Thank you for being here. We're gonna go into a quiet place. Oh, yeah. All right, so we get to have our own Zoom discussions. So this group, I'm the Zoom facilitator. My name is Amy. And we aren't going to move around to different tables. We are going to discuss all three questions amongst ourselves, which I can see we're already starting to do. So if anybody wants to take over, they're more than welcome. But if we want to address question number one, which I see some people have been contributing. How can the LGBTQ community increase internal communication and collaboration among and between individuals, groups, and agencies?
Hi, I'm Dr. Julie Nicole. My pronouns are she, her. I think we need to agree as a community to one organization where all the information is sent to and their responsibility is disseminated. Part of my work is to work without silos, and one thing that we're kind of missing is one central organization. It's always, I heard it from this person who heard it from this person, and I think that would be a good first step.
Yes, and just to reiterate, the chat gets printed out as well as the transcript. So everything you say will also be contributed, just like the papers in the meeting on the tables will be summarized on in big summary boards. This will also, all of our answers for question one will be summarized together. So thank you. That was awesome. Anybody have any additional thoughts about what they shared or new ideas?
I'll jump in. I think it would be helpful to know who all the different organizations are and what their various missions are. Because I personally don't know all of them and would love to know who they are and keep track of who I would call on for which one, which thing.
Right. I know, and I feel how many of these various organizations are doing duplicate work, but if there was one sort of general organization and, you know, the people's power all went to the same organization and not, instead of, you know, duplicating the same work in a small scale. I don't know. I feel like one central organization is a great idea.
I'd like to chime in. So I am Juana Chavista Davis, pronouns she, her, ella. I'm with Oasis Legal Services, and we provide legal services to the immigrant community, specifically to the LGBTQIA immigrant community. I think that what would be really helpful would be to form I wrote this, like a coalition or a group that meets at a minimum quarterly, but preferably monthly. And I do agree that, you know, if there would be an org that not necessarily we send everything to, but that is responsible for organizing the email, the whatever it is. Because there are several coalitions like that we're part of, the for the we do that with the immigrant community and with the food, anybody that works with food. And so that would be super important to have here in the Central Valley with the LGBT community serving orgs. Because yeah, I think it would be super helpful. So
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm just seeing who we have in the chat. Wow.
I have a quick word to say about lists. Lists are created in different organizations, and if an organization or an individual share a list, they should give credit to the organization that first put that list together. I see a lot of my name being on the list of provider being copied back and forth. When it's not given credit, you cannot go to the original person who put that list together, and lists can become updated. Providers move all the time. So I think it's important also to always go to the source. And one thing that I noticed as a physician here is that the list are copy pasted without proper credit.
That's true.
So I'm Alex Love. Can everybody hear me okay on here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue that we already have is that and rather than reinventing the wheel is our newsletter, and access to news is a problem. And that's what we need in one central location, is access to the upcoming event, and just modifying our Gay Central Valley and LGBT Fresno newsletter, and just getting not only digital access to it, but even with the different organizations I'm a part of, because of our elder community, we also send physical letters of the newsletters that way. So it's not just like community link should take over and different things like that. It's just that certain things we already have need to be modified into one central location, in my personal opinion.
Jump in here. This is Kyle Lippischmidt, here they pronounce. One thing that I've kind of witnessed, I've been organizing in community development space for several decades now, and getting more into LGBTQ plus organizing with launching South Tower CLT and our Queer Housing Summit. Things that I'm kind of learning is that there's kind of harm that's been done between people and organizations that hasn't necessarily been addressed in a restorative way. So really having something centralized and everybody coming into a coalition without first addressing some of those things may not be as successful than if we took the time to really address those things. And maybe instead of like one organization holding a central thing, we work out like a distributed system where everybody's able to contribute to something that we feel we all own, rather than just one organization. And I see Crow's hand up. If Crow, you want to go?
Yeah, I said it in the chat, but I just thought I'd say it out loud here too. Just it's important that we have like one central directory of resources, and that it's not only like it needs to be vetted. Like it needs to be actually like, we don't just put these resources like because a person says they're okay. Like they need to actually like be tested and like prove like, yes, this is for sure like a safe person, a safe therapist, a safe doctor, whatever. And it needs to be updated regularly. Like sometimes organizations shut down or people move away, and like so just updating it regularly too is really important.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 16, 18. Okay, 60 and 1878.
They're just taking a head count. Thank you, Crow. Let's see.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can I jump back in again?
Yes, absolutely. I was just gonna call on you.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm trying.
No,
So
I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying.
Yes, and we appreciate it. So One thing I know is that Fresno Metro Ministries, people don't realize it's not just necessarily that they're religiously affiliated, but they are the best at creating a central location for access to resources of any kind. And I feel like they should be able to help us enter all this into their database. That way we have at least one or more central location already. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Whoa. I think that was Robin's bullhorn. Let's see. They might be signaling to move on to question 2, but we'll see. I love some of our ideas already. And Misty, I saw you jumped on here. Some ideas you bring up, I think would be great for question 3. So keep those thoughts and bring them up again. Provide a safe space to gather information, disseminate that information. Also interesting. Yeah, they're gonna move to question 2.
People spend a moment to make sure you all introduce yourself so that you know who's at that table. Take a moment to read what's on there, and read what's on there, and then have some conversation that adds to, expands, whatever the case may be. Because the idea is we want to get as much around each one of these topics as possible. Remind me where the open table is.
Over there.
Right there. So that invites you to go over and put anything you want. Now, I've been going around and kind of looking. And here's what I'm gonna ask you to be thinking about. We should go now to the next tables. I believe I saw one that said, we need more youth involved. Of course we do. So have some ideas about how to get youth involved. And put some stuff on it, get some strategies, put some ideas. So that we come out with some things that we can follow up on. Yes. Oh, that was just I've got peripheral vision. I thought you pointed me down. And the question, does that all make some pretty good sense? The idea is here, you're gonna have some continue to have meaningful conversation. That you may meet some folks that you haven't met before. Or put a face to a name, and that you really are able to get some ideas in terms of what you put out there and what you get back. Okay. So, and at the end, let me just say that when you're at the last table, I think I said already, you're all going to get a flip chart page, and you're going to summarize in a list what you see on that. And it's that summary that's going to get typed up and sent back to you so that you've got something to work with, okay? Okay, so finish your thoughts and then please move to another table, different people, different topic. Okay.
All right, so there are 3 questions, but there's also I'm sorry, she wasn't very loud this time. She was just saying that when people move to different tables, she wants people to talk about what's already been written, and then to make, which we're in the same group, so we don't need to do that. But to not simply, if you say, for example, one of your ideas is, oh, we need more youth involved. She wants to say, well, that's great. Yes. How are we supposed to have an idea, but then also try to provide like a solution or a workable idea to how to solve that problem? But anyway, so we have the 3 questions. We're going to move on to the second one. But also they're going to be doing a 4th round of just open commentary. It can be open commentary about anything. So we also have that as well. All right, so question number 2, I think Robbie posted that. How can the LGBTQ plus community strengthen communication with and to the community at large? All right, anybody want to raise their hand or jump right in?
Amy, it's Cordell Jelf. He is him. It's hitting me, and the reason I'm attending this is having known Robin McGehee and other past things. you know, what you just asked a Fresno City liaison would be so good at doing is helping all these individual groups and the community as a whole to communicate with each other and also with the rest of the city. So I strongly support that concept.
Oh, I do too. I hope it becomes a strong position and they recruit a great representative and maintain that representative for a long time, that liaison.
And being able to do everything that was suggested regarding question 1.
Yeah. In the chat, I see we need a restorative justice. Oops. We need restorative justice process for individuals and organizations that may feel they've been harmed before. Deeper collaboration can be successful. Yes, I'm gonna heart that one. Also, question 2, provide a message space that is read only. So there's only information provided out to all that is not somewhere where hate can be added with replies. This can be in a virtual space that can be updated by the coordinator and admins. I like the idea of a quarterly meeting, you know, where we can discuss in a safe space that ideas can flow freely. Right, and an online or digital space that doesn't get populated with trolls and, I mean, people that can just spew their hate and make people not feel comfortable to share. Let's see.
Did they move those?
They did. Yes, we moved. We moved topics, yes. We're just one room. Let's see. Meg says, have a meeting with representatives of all groups and some other individuals who are interested in working on different issues at hand and have them come together for discussion and plans for action. And yes, I welcome anybody who's like, doesn't feel comfortable speaking, or you have stuff going on in the background, absolutely share within the chat box. Erica says, I wonder what other cities have done this collaborative work successfully and what we can learn from them. I'm a huge believer in copying other successful strategies from other communities as well. That would be fascinating to kind of do some digging to see what other communities have done similar to what we're trying to do and what has worked well and what has not.
Yeah, I have something to say about that. 2 years ago, me, Dr. Faubert, Drea Long, a trauma surgeon, and April Taylor Salary, we presented at USPATH, which is the largest trans-led conference in the US. And we presented on what we do in Fresno for gender affirming care. And one thing that we do in Fresno better than anyone else in the country is that we're relatively small size. And if we have a problem, we know exactly who to contact to. So in the context of gender affirming care, if I have a question with a parent having problems, I refer to PFLAG, but we all know and connect each other. And another presentation has been accepted last Friday to present at the same conference with me, Drew Harbaugh from PFLAG, Crow who's attending, and also Jess Fitzpatrick. And the theme is, connecting organization, and providing care without silos. That's the theme of our. So we can be very proud in Fresno that we do it already, and we do it exceptionally well. We just need to build on the work that we're doing. We're relatively a small city compared to San Francisco, LA, and we can walk with our chin really up and our chest really out and proud because we're already doing that work exceptionally well.
I want to say something to that. So
Hi.
I don't feel like I know of every organization. I feel like that the orgs and the people who have been working with the LGBTQ community in Fresno, yes, they do their job extremely well, exceptionally well. but I feel like we have to also look at the other intersections, including race and other factors, because the community that I represent would not agree with the comment that they know where to go or who to get the services from. We're in the Central Valley, and there are a lot of immigrant farm workers, and only recently there is one in the entire Central Valley. So I feel like we need to begin by, at least for our org personally, Oasis is from the Bay Area, and we came to Fresno just last year. I feel like here we need to know who we are, where we are, what we do, what part of the LGBTQ plus orgs we serve. I personally am from the Central Valley and have been here all my life, but I still don't know, who does what and how to connect.
Well, I'm glad you're here. That's awesome, because the purpose of this meeting is to do that. And I'm really glad that you mentioned race, because as an OBGYN, I take care of a lot of Black pregnant patients. And we've already outreached the Black Wellness and Prosperity Center. We're training doulas to accompany Black patients on labor and delivery. And we're also going to have an upcoming meeting to connect the intersection of the Black race and gender identity and the LGBT in general. So, those movements, it comes slowly. 1 year, it looks like a short time, but, I'm sure you're going to come back here in 6 months and you're going to feel a little bit more connected. I'm sorry you don't feel connected. I'm really happy to give you my contact information and connect you with the organization that we work with. You're not alone.
Thank you for sharing that. And jumping in, Julie, I really appreciate it. I see two hands, Alex and Crow, so we'll go with Alex.
Crow, you can go ahead and go first.
Oh, I didn't have my hand raised.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're just more popular than me. Love that. So I am so glad that this was that race was brought up, because this has been a continuous problem that we have had, not just in Fresno, for lack of representation of queer people of color, and just representation as a whole. Because what happened was, many years prior to COVID, they tried to get together to have a queer trans people of color group and space, and it was just not very successful. And it is important that we start that. The only thing I have to say is I really want to thank the Interfaith Council for trying to remedy that situation as well. So it is something we're at the very beginning of. Yes, so it is a really big problem that we have had for a long time, is lack of LGBTQ plus people of color representation.
Thank you. You got a lot of love on those comments. All right, I see Rabbi. You have a hand, or Dr.
Yeah. Yeah, hi. I'm struggling with this question because I think that it's not just about communication, but it's actually about connection and relationship. And maybe that's part of why, at least, connected to what Alex just said about the interfaith community, that the progressive members of the interfaith, the progressive clergy in the community are in relationship with people. And so I feel like our organizations need to be in relationship as well. It's not just about sending out announcements. It's actually about sitting and learning from each other, with each other, having dialogue together about the needs of the LGBTQ plus community, and about the needs of the other communities, whether it's around environmental justice or racial justice or disability rights, right? That we should all be having conversations together and building relationships so that we can then remember to be there for each other and be motivated to be there for each other and reach out to each other at the times that there is information to be shared or there is a crisis, etc. Thanks.
Thank you, Ravi. I agree with you. I mean, I think with the question, it's like, well, I think the message probably gets heard, but there's a difference between, you know, hearing and truly understanding and believing, or at least being open-minded and and of open heart. Let's see. I have some questions I was going to read.
Real quick, is it Rabbi or Rabbi?
Oh, I say, yeah, you're right.
It's Rabbi.
Oh, Rabbi, sorry.
It's okay.
My bad. So sorry. Then I was like, Dr. Laura, oh my gosh, I'm just messing up all over the place. Let's see. I was trying to figure out what questions we haven't read out loud. Anybody want to contribute to question 2? I don't see hands, but I think this question about, or this comment about electeds from Brenda, share important information. You want share to all electeds and ask them to delegate out information in their newsletters. The reality is their mailing list is in the thousands. If they are advocates, allies of the LGBTQIA+ community, they should more likely be moved to share resources, events. Their email list is substantial and probably reaches crowds that don't just frequent our blogs and websites and town halls. Can restorative justice also include work to overcome age barriers, specifically elders? Experiences are different from other age groups and each age group from the others, so that we can all work together. It's a nice comment from Cordell. Let's see. And in a comment responding, I think, to Rabbi's comment, uplift a tapestry of voices that doesn't necessarily agree on every issue, especially voices of the most marginalized folks, and create an environment we can disagree and have different strategies, especially with elected officials. I agree, more in-person get-togethers. All right.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to also, the issue that we're having is the language barrier specifically for the Latino population here. It's not just engaging with the Latino immigrants, but the only 2 organizations I can tell you that okay, so Rocio de la Rosa is the only one that is doing the LGBT Fresno Spectrum Center, and she is one of the only main members we have that actively speaks English and Spanish. And then even EOC there is now starting to, is somebody else EOC? Yeah, go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
I've been having so much trouble with my computer. I apologize. Hi, everyone. My name is Jess. My pronouns are he, him. I am a community outreach educator at the LGBTQ+ Resource Center, and I'm affectionately known as the Tranager, helping with gender affirming resources. And I want to support what I'm hearing, especially around language and culture barriers. Alex is correct that the Spectrum Center and Fresno EOC is one of we're the only ones providing Spanish speaking services. That provides all of the spectrum of our clients' needs, thanks to literally one person, right? So that means on top of everything else that they're doing, they're also providing, translation services. So they're incredibly overwhelmed, but it's needed because I can validate from what I've seen at the center, having one person be able to speak both English and Spanish, we have seen our requests for services explode. And I remember when Juana was working with us in the center, and she was our Spanish speaker, and that also helped bring people in. And I think it's that type of support that people need to see in action, right? So yeah, we need to be collaborating together to provide these services, and also bringing in community supports into whatever work that we're doing together, so we can reach the people who currently aren't at the table right now. For folks who are Black, who are brown, who are disabled, folks who are impoverished, and so they don't have access to easy transportation, Zoom access. All of those things need to start be putting into consideration when we are talking and trying to build this table together. So anyway, that's my 10 cents.
Thank you so much. Can I say I'm just grateful the transcript is capturing all of the ideas you guys have come up with, just even at this juncture. I'm thrilled that I did not have to write all this, because my hand would be exhausted. They did make a signal that we're going to move to question 3. I don't even know, I'm like, how can those tables come up with better than what we've come up with? I'm like, y'all are genius. So, and really bring up, I think, really good goals and what our community needs to keep continuing to work towards. Question 3, identify the main interests and needs of the LGBTQ plus community and list strategies to meet those interests and needs. I will say, if something else pops up from question 1 or 2 that you just thought of, after the fact, feel free to bring those up. Plus, again, we will have a 4th round of open comments of anything. All right, let's see. Number 3, Rabbi says, identify the main interest. Oh yeah, you repeated my question. Thank you so much. So people don't have to scroll. So interests and needs for our community, and list strategies to meet those interests and needs. And that's just like they were saying earlier, trying to make sure we come up. I think you guys are doing an excellent job of coming up with solutions, like solution focused problem solving. What do you think? I mean, we've talked about those kind of already, just now about language barriers, more people of color being represented in our community. Let's see.
See, Crow has his hand up.
Yeah. All right, Crow.
Yeah, I think there's so many needs, right? But the main things that come to my mind are housing, really. Like there's so many people in our community that are unhoused or can't afford a place to live, or are forced to live in unsafe environments because they don't have any other choice. And there's no shelters in our community that are accepting of the queer, specifically trans community. And we need more like knowledge of our rights in employment situations, and more protections against discrimination. We definitely need more doctors and therapists that are trained in helping our community, specifically the trans community, in providing gender affirming care. And we need more providers that are in the medical and mental health field that are trans or queer, and people of color as well. that are informed and providing gender affirming care too. Those are like the main things that come to my mind. But again, there's like so many things that our community needs.
Those are some great additions. Thank you. Cordell, I see your hand.
I got lost in thought. I'm going to be real careful in how I say what's on my mind. At the age of 70, I think I want the same thing as when I was 15 and became aware that I was not normal, which is I'd really like to live somewhere where the elected officials are not constantly attacking me, whether they know it or not. It's even in this day in California of so-called much more open situations, it's really kind of, you feel real alone when you watch elected officials attacking a group that you know you're a part of. And that for me is very true of the gay community. I'm sure it's true for all of the queer community. And the solution I'd propose to that, again, is just knowing other people, other groups. I'm a member of a couple of groups, and one of them's outright a political club, but there are other groups that afford me some protection. And now I'll try to figure out how to lower my hand.
Thanks, Cordell. So yeah, not feeling attacked by our electeds. There was a question in the chat from Beth. Has there been a recent comprehensive effort to conduct a survey asking the Central Valley community their priorities? You know, I don't particularly know of one, but I was gonna put that out to you guys and see if you knew of one.
I can speak on that. Sorry.
Alex, thank you. No,
Yeah, no. So the past couple of years, even during COVID, we had tried to actually do it. Sometimes surveys, the most recent one, we have a trans-centered one, both in English and in Spanish. And then a couple years ago, actually in 2021, there was one specifically trying to get data and more like trying to understand what are the needs of the Hmong and Southeast Asian LGBTQ plus community. So they had a specific survey to not just engage the Central Valley, but Fresno as specifically as well, because of the large Southeast Asian population we have. My understanding is they are based mainly out of Stone Soup for the LGBTQ plus Hmong and Southeast Asian population, serving population. Yeah, but there is currently a trans survey in English and in Spanish that they're trying to get more data on what exactly we need help with more specifically.
thank you for that. In the chat. Do I see a hand? All right. Kiel had a question or a comment.
Yeah.
Housing.
I put it in the chat, but I'll say it out loud because
Yeah, please.
I want to hear it. Housing is just super important for our community, and we need to be fighting for housing as a human right. And that's a power that we have to like claim from the private sector and from different agencies that are going to keep us from that. And there was like this huge outpouring of interest and passion at the Queer Housing Summit that we hosted just a week and a half ago. And we want to really be building capacity as a community to direct like housing and real estate development to really like create the spaces and structures that are going to affirm and like protect our community. So really welcome everybody that's into that power building and wanting to build that kind of capacity to do that together.
Thank you. I agree. I think housing is a really important issue. We're still discussing number 3. We have another joiner for our Zoom session. what's your name? You want to?
Oh yeah, I can introduce myself. So hi everyone. My name is Cade. My pronouns are they, them. I work for GSA Network, the Genders and Sexualities Alliance Network. So I work with youth from elementary school to high school, and I help support them all over the Central Valley.
Nice. Glad to have you in our Zoom group. We're still talking about question 3. Do you remember identify the main interests and needs of LGBTQ community? We've talked about having more representation for people of color, having people more representation with therapists, and language barriers, housing.
Right. And definitely when it comes to like things that include youth, we have to make sure that, you know, we're allowing space for folks to join, for our youth to join and build up their skills. Like specifically like what we do for GSA Network is like we have like activist camps and other stuff. Sorry, it's getting quiet. I think they're gonna be talking in there.
It's okay, they're not talking to us.
Oh, okay. But yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I know, we're like, it got quiet. But yeah, I think they're gonna be switching to the next round. I'm gonna see what's in the chat. Veteran and current.
Okay, so now you can help.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're getting a job.
Okay, get this group to summarize what would be.
Oh, yeah,
some of the
give me a
things.
spread.
Okay, so here you go. So I'm gonna get you some tape, or I'll just put it here, but I'll try to find tape.
Okay.
Yeah, so essentially what you're gonna do is now have the summary
For
of
each
whatever's
question?
created here. No,
Or just a
what-
big
The
long.
big long summary, and you might put it categories under what were the biggest themes out of that stuff?
Okay.
That's what you're, yeah, and so someone from this group, either someone online or if you're willing to do it, is gonna present just quickly what was written up by
Okay.
this group.
Okay. All right.
You need a sheet?
Okay, so we are at the point where, and please share any more information as we go along. Where we're going to summarize, I don't know if you heard Robin, so I'm just gonna repeat. We're gonna summarize what we've come up, sort of our general themes under each question. And then we will present, Alex, I'm gonna make you do it. Or somebody in the Zoom, if they want to present, we'll come up, if you just want to copy and write as we go along.
We have faith in you, Amy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, so we will summarize what our general themes were for each question. So for question number 1, let's scroll back a little bit. And you guys tell us, and Alex is going to write.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, not Alex is going to write, sorry. Do you want to write or do we want to type?
I could write it, yeah.
Please and thank you, Kate. I'm not in
Please and
charge.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't want to do it. I have terrible handwriting. I'm a teacher, but I don't ever write on the board. Never.
Girl, you're not about to voluntold an AmeriCorps member right now.
I know. All right, Kate. So first we're gonna do, let's see. I'm gonna go back to question 1 and remind myself. That's what I was doing. I lost my train of thought. Oh. How can the LGBT community increase internal communication? So within our own entities, and collaboration between individuals, groups, and agencies. I remember we had a great sort of overarching suggestion to kind of this wish to have one general overarching agency, and that's probably, gosh, it feels impossible, but wouldn't that be nice? Or I think if you guys want to summarize it better, a list, a updated list of agencies. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like we, you know, if it was one single agency, then no, communication is a little bit easier and not duplicated. Or efforts are not duplicated. A central group made up of other groups, individuals, kind of like a representative board where you take people from different entities and walks of life, different communities, housing entities, youth entities, you know, a representative. You have almost this like conglomeration. Yeah. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
So far, I've got updated list of agencies, wish to have overarching agency for LGBTQ
Yeah.
community.
One over, I liked that suggestion. I think that was right from the beginning. What else did we talk about? Not an org, but a session like this. Only bigger. Oh, or like another, like a bigger global cafe. I think that's what they called it. A phone tree
cafe.
We also talked about having like one central directory of resources for the community
Oh, a direct
that's
resource.
updated regularly and vetted by the community.
You know what, Crow? That's great. I literally had that same idea too when I was putting it like down for this question too, because I was just like, it would just be great to have that be central and available and accessible.
Like a queer Fresno wiki. I love it.
I believe Terry has their hand up.
Terry, go ahead. I'm gonna mute because it's loud.
Okay, can you hear me? So yeah, there was some talk about like a who's who directory, and somebody just mentioned a directory of resources, but I was thinking more of basically a list of who's here in this meeting today and who's in the other room, and names, organizations, contact information, and then that needs to be able to be accessed by anybody that is from this group that's here tonight, and anybody that joins the group later on in the future. I don't know who would be in charge of that, but there needs to be some kind of a who's who directory of all these community leaders and what they're responsible for, maybe. And then
I was gonna get Robin's attention and ask her right now, but continue.
yeah, and and as far as question number 2 went with how to get information out, I'm a tech person, so I see those kind of issues as having technological solutions. So I don't know if there could be a newsletter, there could be a website that is just for like press release kind of things when this group gets together and has discussions and makes decisions, or is talking with our liaison whenever we get that person, and there's information that comes out of that. There should be somebody from this group or a couple of people that can put that into a summary, like a press release, and then we can post that on a public website that everybody can access, and then maybe either email copies of that out to all the organizations, or not just these organizations, but like other resources like Planned Parenthood, or Dr. Nicole's practice, or the community resources that someone else was talking about earlier. And as far as communication, I think a quarterly meeting would be great. I think some people think that monthly is too often because there's too many chances of a conflict. I don't know. Quarterly or monthly, I would be good with.
Right, I remember we were kind of debating that a little bit, but I agree, yes, monthly sounds amazing, but then you know how schedules are. Just to remind the rest of us what question 2 was, how can the LGBTQ plus community strengthen communication with and to the community at large? What are some things that we discussed? I remember we talked a little bit about connection, focusing on connection. I don't know if somebody had a better way of summarizing what that sort of feeling or that theme. We had the discussion about interfaith. So does somebody want to remember? I think some great comments about that.
Dr. Rabbi said it, or sorry, Rabbi Laura said it really, really well.
I don't want to put her on the spot, but
it's just sort of the big idea is that there are leaders in the interfaith community who are allies and advocates and here to support the LGBTQ community. and have affirming and welcoming spaces and are available to people individually and collectively, and we want to be there. Did I say that right, Jess? Did I forget anything? Okay.
And we were reminded, more in-person get-togethers. As we are, the Zoom group says more in-person get-togethers.
Right. Well, and hey, Amy, and I think like it worked this time because that space would not in no way hold everybody that needed to be in this thing.
You guys are sitting-
So yeah, but I think Rabbi, I am in total agreement that are those who have shown up as active advocates for our community. I believe we need to lean out to them for this additional support because these resources have historically just not been available within our community. So that's a connection builder that I believe we need to enhance. I also, when we're talking about connectedness, again, it's about not just recognizing who's already here at the table, so to speak, but who isn't. Why aren't they here? And how can we address that weakness in our community so they can be able to participate in the next quarterly session and help build those resources with us. And so that's what I mean about connectedness. It can't be the same people all the time doing this work.
Agreed.
So yeah.
I also just real quick, I put it in the chat, but I just wanted to say it out loud too. Like any sort of directory or newsletter or anything that's created in the future should be in an accessible format and also in multiple languages. So that way people with disabilities, people of different languages can also access it.
Would it be okay for
Recommend-
members on right now to share their or give their part of an org or email? I'll share mine. I guess y'all don't have to, but that'd be great.
You start it. Number 3 was identify the main interests and needs of the LGBTQ plus community and list strategies to meet those interests and needs.
Don't bring your signs, let's take one on the wall. You could write it on.
Okay, I'll write it on. Sorry, I just got loud. I know housing was a big one, a really big one that we talked about.
You had representation of people of color, language barriers, housing challenges, not being attacked by elected officials.
I'll add a restorative justice process for folks.
All right. So with housing, like, are some of these sort of tangible, did we have a potential solution for these? I can't recall. See. Or any healthcare equality, support of elected officials. Thanks, Meg. I'm appreciating your summaries.
I wanted to say this earlier in kind of the getting together. One thing I think is important for us always to like not uplift the in-person as superior to the online and always offer an online, because there's people that either being in a rural environment that can't get to Fresno, having a disability, myself, my family has COVID this week, and so didn't want to bring that into those spaces. So always offering an online space and making sure that it's equal access.
Yes, I agree. I hope this doesn't go away just because, you know, people think COVID doesn't exist or whatnot, like anymore. Like, no, this is great despite that. Like, if you have, you know, travel, family, childcare, illness, disability, just funds to travel. It makes it so much more accessible to all to have a Zoom option. I can see where it's a little hard to facilitate. I'm not me, but I feel bad. Like, oh, we need microphones and I wish the webcam faced out. And I already am like having ideas like, well, Robin, here's what we can do, what we should do, but it'll get there. But I think, I'm so happy she offered it in a Zoom format. And plus this room was packed and it was not going to hold another 20 people. So we are transferring our ideas and summarizing.
How much longer do you think you need?
Quickly, like, you can write fast.
Yeah, okay,
Like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. All right. So in 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to join the main group. Anything, we didn't get a chance to have an open discussion of anything that's not, yeah, we didn't have an open comments. So
There's one.
Oh, there's one in there.
Yeah,
But
so there should be.
yeah. We didn't have the open comment discussion. So while we keep transferring our notes on the big piece of paper, anything in general that was not covered by the 3 questions?
Again, Jess Fitzpatrick, he, him, and I missed so much of it because I had stupid internet connectivity issues, but I think these ongoing community conversations are essential, and not just talk, but following up with what did we change? What did we try? What works? What doesn't work? And actively sharing our resources with each other. So we, no matter what we're doing, we know that our clients are, our community, that need those resources will get it no matter who they reach out to is vital. We can't keep hiding the resources we have with each other. We have to be able to trust each other and to share that. I also, as someone who's been doing this work, with so many of you for like 15 years now, it's always been my desire and hope that we can help each other hold space for each other while we build this table with better, sturdier, more diverse and equitable materials. So I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for the space, and I'm really excited and hoping that more of us will come together because of this. So thank you, Amy, and shout out to Robin, who is off doing those other things in person.
Oh, she's running around. I appreciate your comments and I completely agree. I really hope, just from the people I've seen here, the names that I've recognized and, your genius contributions, but also the people in this room earlier, I feel like there are people that make moves, and I think we have a good group of 70-ish people here for this common discussion. Let's see. Well, I saw something in the chat. All right, Kate's doing a good job writing our summary. Are you done?
No, done-ish, but I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything else. I just kind of went to the book. So
yeah, just made it. Yeah, you can always use those as notes, and these are just our quick and dirty summary.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate again, rather than reinventing the wheel, the most effective newsletter that we have in Fresno alone is LGBT Fresno's email newsletter. They are very good at making sure, they are the most effective in making sure that we know monthly community events as much as we can. So it's really important not just to get on that newsletter, but engage with that newsletter. And yeah, there's that. Thank you.
Right. Okay. We're going to bring our little notes. And regardless of, our ability to share our summaries, this transcript again gets printed out the chat will be printed out, and they contributed so much.
Thank
Robin.
you so much. Okay, now look, what Amy's gonna do really quickly though is to go around and let you see the ones that are hanging up.
Okay.
So if you could walk around the room and, yeah.
Hey, just a little bit of time to talk about what are the next steps. You put in time into this, energy for this idea. So we'll talk about what are the next steps. And then there are some announcements and things. So while those announcements are going on, I'll be going around photographing these sheets. Where's Robin?
Right here.
Hi, Robin. Hello. Let's talk about next steps. So the first thing. These are retirees.
I got one. I'll get it.
That one's hard to read. But
Hey, Amy,
yes.
can it be read out loud for the people who can't actually read the board? And now you're muted. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't want to take up. They're gonna type them all up and email them out to everybody. Is there a email list that, I mean, the invite list that you got to attend the meeting, correct? They're typing up every comment,
Okay.
every summary that the groups came up with, like we did. They're gonna type them all up and email to everybody.
Awesome.
With the Zoom, your comments from the transcripts and their summaries.
Perfect. You're on mute.
So there's a follow-up that'll be sent out of everything that got discussed today. It'll be sent out to everybody, including people that weren't here. The recording of today's event, what happened online, will be up on YouTube for people to watch. So if you wanted to see what people were talking about in their groups while you were talking in your group, you'll be able to see that. And then on top of that, this group will have the opportunity to meet again, hopefully next month, like finding a place within the next month. Because there have been questions that people have been asking me about, is there a decision about the liaison? Not at this point. We don't know if it's going to be a mayor appointee or from city council. That's supposed to be announced, according to Peter, in September, October. He told me this week. And I mean, that he had heard at Fresno State that in September, October, they're supposed to be announcing what the next step is with the liaison. So the hope is by the time we get to that point, all of this will be compiled to give to whoever that person is. Okay, any questions about any of that? Okay, go for it.
Or anything else. You kind of, you're good with what we've done here and what the outcome of that is. Okay, so I am gonna go around and take pictures of all these sheets and you can go ahead with.
Yes.
Announcements.
And for everyone online, you will get a compiled list written up of all this information that'll be sent to you as well. So the rest of this meeting, if everyone is willing, is for people who have events that are coming up between now and the end of October, just one thing a person. If we could go around the room and just say, what would you like to say? If we have time at the end for more people to say things, but because we have so many people, just one thing that you definitely want people to know, or even if it's just sharing what your website is. Okay, so we'll start there.
Robin?
Yes.
Could someone please unlock the door so we can leave? There's some people who would like.
It's unlocked.
Well,
I'll go take.
You just push, yeah.
You gotta push hard.
You just push the door.
it wasn't me, I'm just.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, all right, so I'm wearing two hats here from Fresno State. Hi, everybody, my name's Kat, as well as from Transemotion. Transemotion, we're having our Gender Euphoria Gala that's gonna be happening on Saturday, September 23rd at Fresno City College. It is a fundraiser for our transgender rental housing relief program. It's the only rental housing relief program here in the Central Valley for our trans community. So if you check us out on transemotion.com or through our Facebook, you can find our information there. The other thing, again, the two hats, LGBTQ studies, which is I'm the coordinator of. We are proud to announce that we are fundraising for our first ever LGBTQ studies endowed scholarship. We've raised already a good chunk of money, but we are going to be doing a fundraiser event on October 15th. Sunday, October 15th, from 6 to 9 at Gazebo Gardens. So come and check us out. You can check LGBTQ studies at Fresno State or at our Instagram, which is LGBTQ studies, or on Facebook, Fresno State LGBTQ studies, and so forth. And yeah, I would love to see you all there. We'll be supporting a great cause at Fresno State. Thank you.
You say pass.
Happy to be here.
Peter, no.
Pride volleyball, women's volleyball, Fresno State, Saturday, September 23rd.
If you have something you want to share, let me know.
Let's support this.
Pride volleyball, women's volleyball team. Saturday, September 23rd. It's the second ever Pride Day for an NCAA Division I collegiate sport. Fresno State, big deal.
I'll be co-hosting that event October 15th for the LGBTQ scholarship. And just so you know, if you donate by September 4th, you will be a founding funder of that scholarship program, but we'll take donations all the way through.
Is there a brick?
You're
getting a brick. Oh my God.
Oh.
So our Savior's Lutheran Church, we talked about it earlier today. They have been attacked on multiple occasions because of their support of this community. So those windows are now repaired. There are children in that community. That's the only opportunity they get for a hot meal once a week. And they haven't been able to use it because the window's busted out by those friends of ours, right? So we are welcoming them back on Sunday, this coming Sunday, with a big party, free backpacks. I'm feeding them lunch. We're doing snow cones. I'm looking for volunteers. I'm looking for Fresno Rainbow Pride at gmail.com. Please find me and come and help us. We would love to have you. Woo! 7 a.m. to set up. The event goes from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Cleanup will be from 2 to 3.
All right, real quick, this Sunday, the Chauncey Tribe has invited us to Chauncey Park in Fresno for the Grizzlies game. I have a lot of tickets for it. If you have an organization that supports youth or seniors, you can come out and hang out with me at the table, or you can just go to the game. They're going to be featuring the youth of the tribe and the tribal elders. The game time is at 5 p.m. The gates open at 3:30. Just come and see me if you are interested.
You could take your wallet. Okay. Kevin. Around along the wall, we'll skip the order. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Metcalf, and Chris Jarvis and I do It's a Queer Thing podcast. We took over the radio show that Jeff used to run right off of KFCF 88.1. It's the third Friday of the month. Now it's a podcast. We have multiple episodes a month. You can find us on all your podcast feeds and find us on TikTok, where I did a lovely video of most of you, and it's going to be on our TikTok site. Now you know.
Yes.
Fresno County Bicycle Coalition, FresnoBike.org is organizing a WTF ride for women, trans, and femme people on Sunday, October 29th. Sunday, October 29th. Check out FresnoBike.org. Lindsay Rodriguez, I specialize personally in a lot of boots on the ground stuff for I currently run the Labyrinth Art Collective in the Tower District. We specialize in uplifting queer marginalized voices. Hit us up on Instagram, Labyrinth Art Collective, if you want to come to an event or collaborate or do something of your own. Reach out.
Right, I'll go or.
Go ahead.
Alicia R. Kelly, Realtor, and also a member of and the president of the Central Valley chapter of the LGBTQ plus National Real Estate Alliance Organization, formed to help our community in the real estate profession, to help each other and to help our community, buyers and sellers, that we're here, you too. And on September 5th, if we have anybody here who is in the real estate profession or anything, appraisers, anything related to it, we're having a luncheon room. It's actually a dinner event. Talking about lending, a lender to talk to us about some things. Again, I'm the chapter president. Our vice president, Jane, is online. Hi, Jane. And I always like to give her a shout out. She was very instrumental in bringing our chapter here to the Central. Always like to shout that out.
Yeah.
And we also have things for our community, so not just as professionals, so in the future, if you or anybody you know in our community needs, has real estate needs, please work over you.
On this row, anybody this way, Kate?
Oh, yeah, I'll go. So hi, everyone. Kate, pronouns they, them. I work for GSA Network, the Genders and Sexualities Alliance Network.
Bob, leave it.
Oh, sorry. I work with youth from elementary to high school. And so I work all over the Central Valley. And so I help support the youth and GSA club. So if any of y'all need my assistance, please come up to me and I will share my email and stuff. I didn't bring my cards. So there we go.
I can go next.
Oh, so Kat.
So I'm Kathleen Arambula-Reina. I am the board president and festival director of Fresno World Pride. If you haven't heard yet, we are returning to the tower. I will let you know about our experiences, maybe from the stage. We'll see how it all works out. It's never easy. You trade one devil for another sometimes. But we are doing our best and we're coming back and we're working with city council members. Our festival will be September 29th through October 1st. September 29th, we will be at one of our 3 venues holding a free youth film festival. So if you do have youth, we are reaching out to GSAs and my VP will talk about that in a minute. We will have our opening night gala at Tower Theater. We do have 3 venues. We have Tower Theater, the Vista Theater, which is next to the Music Academy, and also Fresno City College. I'm happy to say with some of the input, I think Paul has left, but we are bringing a film called 1946, and we don't often say the films we're bringing, but I'm going to say this one because we're going to promote it as much as we can. It talks about essentially how the Bible was weaponized in terms of homophobia, and we're bringing in affirming churches to talk about this, and we're going to have 3 really great religious-based films. So I recommend those on Saturday at Fresno City College, and then all the rest of the queer fun will be at Tower Theater in Vista. So please come out. You can go to realpride.com. We now are doing a 4-packet ticket, so you can take some friends or just buy 4 tickets at once or passes. So hope to see you at the theater.
Yes, hello everyone, Shy, they pronouns with Queer Mom Intersectional Pride. This year we're celebrating our 5th year. I would love to also extend out the invite with all our emails. It will be in October.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Socorro Santian, I just want to invite you out. Next Tuesday is Quality California is having their LGBTQ advocacy day at the Capitol. So as many of you, please show up. If you need assistance with transportation or whatever, you can go on the website, stop the lady in.
Jen.
Oh, hey, Jen Curtis, she, her pronouns. Since I can make one announcement, it's gonna be that Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the LGBTQ Resource Center. The mayor of Clovis and one of the city council people will be in the center to discuss the letter that the other 3 City of Clovis people sent to the Board of Supervisors around pride displays at county libraries. I don't know, maybe Jason will expand on that.
What's the date again?
This Wednesday, 10 a.m. in the center, we'll do the back room so as many people can fit as possible, but we figure out that strike force we're going to use to stop any kind of ordinance that's gonna censor our books in the county libraries. Thanks. Also Fresno EOC.LGBTQ, you can find weekly and monthly events for the center. There's movie nights, there's game nights, there's multiple support groups, there's youth group, there's a mindfulness workshop coming up. Follow us, Fresno EOC.LGBTQ.
Real quick, just Out Loud Sports Fresno. If you want to play queer kickball, it's really fun. Nobody's taking themselves serious, but it's just a fun time, and we need more teams so that's a little more easy to win someday.
Shirley, did anyone at the table wanted to talk about?
Well, we could bring up that the last Friday of every month, all seniors 50 years and older, and if you're with a partner that's younger, they're welcome to come to also. To the Big Red Church. We meet at 2 p.m. and it's on the last Sunday of every month. If there's 5 Sundays, it'll be the 5th Sunday of the month. So everybody's welcome, but we We're just a secret organization. We do movies on Wednesday nights. We do a Thursday night dinner on the third Thursday of the month. And we do any in-between events that anyone brings up. So anybody interested in joining us?
What's the name of the group?
It's Gray Alliance. I'm sorry, thank you.
Perfect. Anyone else at that table? Okay, perfect. Simon, we're gonna start with you if you don't mind, then go that way.
Hi, everyone. Simon Biasel, pastor of Woven Community. And we are putting on an event with other community folks, some of them here, for National Coming Out Day, where we are talking about the sacred act of coming out. And we are going to do it at the Fresno State Alumni House. Thanks, Cap. And October 11th, National Coming Out Day. So Woven Community to get more details.
Oh, anything was that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasper, they and pronouns. I co-founded Queer Mind Intersectional Pride with Shai, and we're just here to say hi. And so what I want to communicate further with everyone here, everyone is welcome to come talk to me about it. If you folks want to connect, I would love to connect. So I'm a research law graduate. I would love to know more about legal services that the queer community needs here in the Fresno Central Valley.
You're a vital resource. So, legal services through what's the organ?
Oh, not organization. I just want to have this conversation.
Oh, got it. Perfect. Okay, got you. Okay, got it. Okay, perfect.
I'm Drew Harbo. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the current chapter president, P-Flag Fresno. We are a local chapter of a national organization. We do advocacy, support, and education. What we are seeing most right now is parents, a lot of parents of trans kids who are coming to get support and education to be more supportive for their kids. So we have a meeting every second Sunday of the month from 2 to 4 p.m. at Wesley United Methodist. Our next one is going to be September 10th from 2 to 4. We are having, actually, our speaker for that is going to be the Associate Director of CASA, Fresno here, because I don't know if y'all know, but 40% of foster kids are LGBT. We need to get our community more involved to work with them. So she will be coming to speak on that from 2 to 3, and then from 3 to 4, we always have a peer support and discussion group. So we welcome everybody at any time. You can find us on pflagfresno.org or find us, we're much more active on our Instagram accounts. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nandip Singh of the executive, I use he, him pronouns, current serving as executive director of the Chicano movement that works primarily with youth in the LGBTQ community. But also just sort of thinking about wearing another hat as like a Central Unified School Board member, really want to find out like, and really hear from all of you how to be like, not just an ally, but some kind of deep solidarity to make sure our students aren't just safe, but they can actually thrive. So very much here, very much want to listen, learn, and hear and educate us.
Thank you. That table? No, it's at the table. Do you first? Yeah, nothing. Okay, perfect. Yeah, go.
You keep pointing, I'm not really sure.
Okay, so-
Good evening, everyone. I'm Veronica Sanmiro Sosa. I'm here with two hats. So the first hat, of course, is her co-chair, the Vice President of Festival Operations for Real Pride. Letting you know that we are having a resource fair this year again for Real Pride. It is going to be on that Friday at Fresno City College campus in the Yolcut little plaza area right in front of the theater. Free pizza for students ages 14 to 24. And also, of course, the free youth film series for them. And of course, because we have them, we have their captive attention at that particular time, we are going to be having resource individuals come on out. So if you are an organization that really does provide resources for that age group, transitional age, please speak with me. I would love to have you bring your information. We're hoping to have many students from all over join us. And again, it is going to be that Friday, 11 to 4. So if you are interested, please get a hold of me at veronica@realpride.com. Second hat, I work for the City College. I run a program called Next Up, specifically for students who are experiencing foster care or have experienced foster care. So we do have a support system specifically for that population. So if you are wanting more information about that, please reach out to me.
Do the same email, is that okay?
No.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, perfect. Thank you. The three. No, nothing. Okay, perfect. Allie. Okay.
Paige Anderson, two hats. First hat is CASA. Please think about being a court-appointed special advocate for our LGBTQ youth. We're desperate. And they really need people to come down and be allies. So that's something, put that hat on. Second one is Fresno Pride Lions, October 13th. We are having a dinner and dance. It's called Coffins and Cocktails. And it will be with a number of groups in the tower, and it is to support Chaffee Zoo, bringing in more youth and disaffected children to be able to experience the zoo. So again, October 13th, cocktails and coffins and cocktails.
Hi, my name's Jason. I'm from LGBT Fresno. We have multiple events coming up that you can find out about on our website. We have a community calendar and also a community directory that some of you might not know about. The main thing that I'm here sharing that I hopefully passed out to everybody, and if you didn't get one, let me know, is that there's been a lot of new anti-LGBTQ things going on at the libraries, the city of Clovis, and the Fresno County Supervisors. And so we just created a text list because these things that are coming up like 24 hours notice, 72 hours notice, and we need a way to organize, because when these things happen, they look out in the crowd and nobody's there, and they just go ahead and do whatever they want. So we need to be able to get together and let them know that we care.
Okay. Monty Borges, treasurer of the Stonewall Democrats. We have our meetings at Los Amigos the second Tuesday of every month from starting at 6 o'clock. It's one of the best groups ever. You can have cocktails and you can have chips. Also, we're doing voter drive. You guys, everybody in this room had better be registered to vote. If you're not, I can check it right now, see what your voter registration. You guys, our life depends on it. So if you want to see me today, I can get you registered to vote right now. That's it.
Would you like to say anything? Anything on this side? Anyone online would like to make any announcements? If so, unmute yourself and have, perfect. We'll start with Kyle. Oh yeah,
All
volume.
right. Hopefully you all can hear me. Kyle Lopez Schmidt with the South Tower Community Land Trust. We are building community power and community ownership centered in the South Tower District. So if you're interested in building our future and designing our future together, contact me, and we're doing some really cool stuff, including Queer Housing Summit that we just led a week and a half ago, and our work around Broadway Park, bringing public space where there was formerly a police station in the Tower District. So thanks.
You do speaker view. Oh yeah. Hold on one second. I'm putting it on speaker view. Next. Okay, perfect. We'll start with Julie.
Hi, this is Dr. Nicole. My pronouns are she, her. October 27th is going to be our third installment at UCSF Fresno for our Health Equity Symposium. So 2 years ago, we did LGBTQ health. Last year, we did Black voices and Hmong voices and their intersection with healthcare. This year, because of what's happening in our country, we're going to focus on trans youth. And we're going to have a physician from Missouri who's currently illegal for her to do her duties as a doctor and do gender affirming care. And also we center the voice of trans youth. So that's going to be at UCSF Fresno. You can check out their website, UCSF Fresno and Conference, if you're interested in attending, or you can talk to P Flag Fresno Drew. That's my husband. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Julie, was that Julie that went? Okay, Julie Nicole, I got that. Anybody else's hand? Perfect. Okay. Oh, yes, Ralph.
I'm with, my name is Ralph Esparza. I'm with Fresno Rainbow Pride, presented by Community Link. We're also throwing a trunk or treat event on, trying to see the date here. On
October 15th.
Yeah, October 15th, sorry. I can't see it. October 15th, we're having an event, trunk or treat at, I don't remember the place we're having.
1444 C Street, and old C Street Market, got that huge mural on the side of C Street, Stanislaus. We're gonna have lots of folks out there with their trunks handing out candy, vendors, We need volunteers, we need candy, we need vendors, we're gonna have food trucks out there too. It's a free event for all the kids in the community. Last year we had an event at Will Be Health and we totally underestimated how many people in that area just really are starving for an event like that. Those kids out there, they don't get that very often. So if anybody's interested in volunteering or participating, please let one of the three of us know. Oh, I was gonna say, like, is there a way for us to donate funds for candy? Yeah, you know what? I'm here. So for the backpack drive, for the trunk or treat, if I have my business cards here, if you need to get my contact information, just come and see me before you split. Thanks. What time's trunk or treat? Trunk or treat starts at 6 o'clock.
6 to 8.
I think it's 6 to 8. Don't quote me, I apologize, but it's on all of our socials. There's
Yeah,
a
it's all
whole
our
little
socials,
flyer
yeah.
there.
Last year we had over 1,000 trick or treaters.
And not saying the porta potty and it's my fault. That's not happening this year.
Okay, so really quickly, there is time if people want to make a second announcement. We have still not hit our 8 o'clock. We have 8 minutes to do so. But I do want to say one quick thing. For everyone that went, I did take notes of your name and what you said. What would make it easier for me, so I don't screw up what you said that you'd want everyone to know about, is if you just email me a quick blurb of what you want me to put in the email that's going to go out tonight by tomorrow. So if you have an event on Wednesday, people will know the when, the where. If you just send it to me, I'm going to copy it and put it into the email. That's the first thing. The second thing, question.
No, do you want to email or?
Yeah, email or text me. Email is robinmcgeehee@gmail.com and my phone number is 559-287-9670, but I'll give it to you after this if you'd like. The second thing that I want to say is I'm not sure if the representative for Annalisa Perea, who is a council member that went and advocated for our community to get funding for EOC, a liaison, and other LGBT organizations, but their representative was supposed to be on tonight and may still be online. I want to first say that this is possible, not this event, but these conversations about possibilities are possible because of City Council member Perea, and I want to make that recognized. Because even though, and I'd say this if Ashley Swearinger was still sitting here, even though she was welcoming, there wasn't funding behind it, and you can't do anything without funding, as you all know. And the second thing that I want to say is there was someone who asked, do you need funding to buy all the stuff that was over there? And he gave a personal donation of $50, and I want to say thank you very much. And so thank you. But everyone who came and offered help to set up and take notes and etc., I cannot thank you enough. And I cannot thank enough, and I hope all of you will give a big round of applause to Dr. Jackie Ryle and Yoda. And Dr. Ryle did this for free for our community because I believe that she loves us the way that we love her. And I cannot thank her enough for just saying yes when we asked. Thank you. Any last minute questions before we give the floor for people who want to make a second announcement? Okay, perfect. Any second announcements? Have a wonderful evening. Please drive careful. Thank you for coming. 7:55 people.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. I will send everything out. If you could, please put the email that you prefer in the chat. I will get a transcript of this. If you could put that email there, that way I know how to send it to you if I'm not already currently emailing you. Thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. Thank all of you. Thank you. Thank you to Amy for being our Zoomer. Thank you, Amy.
Bye, night.
Okay. Yes, I love you. Thank you. I will message you guys. Yes. Yes. There's Jackie. Okay.
There's so many activities. How do I find out?
I'm gonna email out the stuff that was announced. I promise you. Did you put your email down?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yes, I will email it out. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna leave this live for those of you who might want to continue to watch. Anybody, I can't read the chat, but anybody have a question they want to just say out loud? Okay, perfect. I will leave it live so you can continue to watch the room. Yeah, I was thinking it'd be great if you heard about the experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Good, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Chris, for coming. Thank you.
Been a long time.
All the things that you guys do, always out there, keeping people accountable, that's what you guys do, so thank you. Do you need help? I've got, you have everything? Okay. Thank you. Take care. Okay.
He's on that door, but. They go there, I'm not.
How would people meet you? I want to put that down.
My essentially well too.
Go. Okay, all right. Yeah. I don't
Of course.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. I totally get what you're Yes. Okay, yes. There you go. Okay, yeah. I promise you. Gosh. All right. That would be great so much. Yes. And it's only $1. I know.
Yeah, they really like,
That's it. Yes, yeah.
I know. Lucky me.
Yeah. Because probably, you know what, he was not really wants to be. Anybody?
Yeah.
Someone from.
Thanks for all the kids. You know, that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Put this chair away.
Is that where it was? Yeah. Good?
Yes. That's why I don't know.
Okay.
Which I actually, I haven't.
Yay, okay, so Salvador, thank you so much for coming. Have a good night.